The suspect in the lime green hoodie, he's sitting on the bench and he sort of is threatening people as they walk past. But then this man walks past. He shoves him right into oncoming traffic. His head almost gets run over by that truck's wheel. And then the eerie part is that the man who shoved him just stares at him and then walks away.
I couldn't believe somebody can do that to a poor innocent guy just walking on the street.
So that man whose head is practically under the truck wheel right there, he did suffer critical injuries, still a serious situation. Police say, though, they have found the suspect in question. They recognized him from this video, tracked him down. They do have him in custody. And they say also he's going to face attempted murder charges. Crazy and scary video to watch play out.
So the storm that started in California, now starting to move east, and it'll freeze for some people. So we've got winter weather to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into it. Interstate 5, those are tough images, especially in Southern California. That doesn't happen often, to have a shut down highway in Southern California because of snow, but it did. And we also saw up to 4.5 inches of rain in some of the burn scar areas, even in LA County.
We just don't know the stability of our hills anymore. The fire did its devastation. The hills behind us that are not a concern could become a concern very quickly.
Now that moisture is moving east, some of it's going to freeze, but flood watches are up from southeast Texas through western Louisiana. I'm talking 3 to 5 inches of rain.
There were terrifying moments for passengers on that Southwest flight as the plane skidded down the runway on a very rainy day. The plane hit an emergency barrier system at the end of the runway.
When we went off the runway, it kind of broke through those emergency stopping tiles. You could see shrapnel and like sand and mud and stuff flying up past the windows, and I had no idea what it was at the time.
They didn't know if they would stop or not. Finally, the plane came to a stop right before the end of the runway there. Passengers say it was a terrifying couple moments, not knowing if they were going to crash or if they'd be able to walk off the plane.
We started braking, but we were going so fast. It was like we knew we were going really, really fast. And then we started sliding because he was braking and skidding a little bit or whatever. It was freaky.
And while passengers believe a hydroplane was involved, the official cause is under investigation. Amazingly, none of the 117 people on board were hurt.
So right behind me you can see the George H.W. Museum and Library. He has been interred here. Finally, the very public man who was a public servant for most of his life, calling it a noble calling, is put to rest in a very private ceremony. Only his family were there. We did hear the 21 gun salute ricochet and echo throughout this area. We heard the bugles and taps. And that was it for a president who really made College Station and Texas A&M his home. He spent a lot of time here. He's very proud of that library, proud of this place, and the fact that out of the George H.W. Bush School of Public Policy, 70% actually went on to be public servants. And that is going to be his legacy, one of a man who was finally laid to rest with his wife, Barbara, and his daughter, Robin.
We are taking you behind the scenes and backstage today of A Christmas Carol in Harlem. It's a Harlem remake of the classic Charles Dickens play that everyone knows and loves.
I think oftentimes the classics are speaking about the ruling class. It's a comment on the ruling class. And Charles Dickens' original piece is very much that. And I think we still have questions about decisions that are made by the ruling class today. We just dust it off a little bit and make it relevant for a 21st century audience.
These ghosts are not your typical ones that you are used to. They come out on roller skates, they have fun costumes, there's glitter, there's pizzazz, there's dance, but also while touching on some real issues that are happening in Harlem and throughout the country.
As an advocate for marginalized voices, my purpose is always to find practical ways.
So it's really bringing kind of this fictional tale meets real world problems in a way.
Liked your trip? Come on location with ABC News every day.